sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me.
Turn on your mind now, tune into the feed. We're planting digital flowers from a single tiny seed. Yeah, power to the collective in the data and the soul. The hive mind's getting louder, finding voice and control.
And here we go. Welcome to the freak show, the best in town.
What's going on, Hive? Great to see everybody. Let me double check the audio. Oh, yeah, we are loud and clear. I'm very excited for tonight. We're going to continue what we talked about a little bit last night as far as the private driver being Eric Gower. We're also going to get into the DoorDash, and then I'm going to drop one of my own theories on you all. It's been a while since I've done that, so I'm excited to get your guys' thoughts on that. Nonetheless, I'm your host, Birdie. I go live weeknights at 7 p.m. Central. Welcome to the Hive Mind. This is a contrarian thinking live stream. We think past the headlines. We question the narrative. We're not afraid to have a discussion with each other. Even if we initially disagree, we understand that the only way to get to the truth is we have to be able to communicate with each other. We're talking about the Idaho 4 case, but we can apply that to everything. And I think that this little carved out corner of the internet, being the Hive Mind, does that exceptionally well. I have the best mods on YouTube, being formerly known as Beck, Discord Dawn, UFO Dog, and Luna Bliss, who will give you enough leash to hang yourself in the chat. But as long as you're not trolling, spamming, or threatening, say whatever you want. If you do decide to dish it out and it catches my eye, you might get clown horned. But at any given moment, your comment can appear on screen just like this. So the Hive is actually a part of every live stream, and that's what makes it awesome, is you all in the chat can totally change the direction of what we're thinking, where we go. So make sure that you guys are in the chat typing, and I will do my best to put up as many comments on the screen as I can. As I'm saying what's up to everybody, let's take a second, swipe down on the chat, hit the like button, hit subscribe. This is a free stream. All of the streams are free. Okay, there was some confusion about that yesterday. Nothing's changing with the stream. If you want to support the channel and you want to become and you want to be able to use the emojis and get the badges next to your name, that's what I'm calling Hive Plus. Hive Plus gives you the loyalty badges with how long you've been a part of the Hive, as well as custom emojis that you're able to use in the chat. That's the only difference. Okay, so there was some confusion. Along with that is $4.99 a month. Some people say they see $6.99. That's most likely if you have an iPhone. That's good old Apple service fees. That's out of my control. Okay, so I cannot change that, but it is $4.99 a month. You can cancel it at any time, and no pressure to do it. If you don't want to do it, nothing changes. You can still hang out, and I encourage you to. It's just there was a lot of people wanting to support this, and I thought it'd be a fun way to kind of mix up the chat a little bit. So I hope you guys enjoy that. But yeah, nothing's behind a paywall. The Hive Mind will always stay free. I wanted to say thank you again to everybody that did sign up. And tomorrow I will be announcing three winners. So I gave a 24-hour time frame, and I'm going to announce those three people that will win the giveaway. It's going to be a surprise. I think you guys are going to like it. And that will be announced tomorrow night. Now, I'm going to say what's up to everybody, and then we're going to get into the Discord question of the day as well as our theme tonight, which I think is a shocking discovery. It's going to also lead us into Thursday night with Jeffrey, which, by the way, I saw Jay and Bree Pavarotti mentioned in one of his videos that he's got some questions for Jeffrey he'd like me to ask. I left a comment on, I think, 2 videos, and I don't know if you didn't see it or if he changed his mind, but send me an email, birdieshivemind@gmail.com for any of the questions that you want me to ask Jeffrey. And that goes to anybody. I know we got some stuff in the Discord as well for that. You can put that in the Idaho 4 case chat. But birdieshivemind@gmail.com. If there's a specific question you want me to ask Jeffrey, include pictures, include the documents if you can. Make it as detailed as possible. Nonetheless, let's see who's all tuning in. We got Jessica, multiples mama, Chris 2472, genuinely confused, Kitty Climb, Shaylin Fletchero, hopefully I said that right, Bottom Teeth Andy, Kawanda Tiffany, Animal Cracker, UFO Dog, Thoughts Loading, and Shock Face, Wild Bill, Joshua Scott Griffith, Tara B, Uncle Daddy 001, Germilla says blank, 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 trust us, blank, 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 blank. Just like the good old government wants us to believe that we can trust them, even though they black out half the words. Hey, it's Ray, Tammy, Sleeples in South Africa, Beyond Reasonable Doubt, Terry Dawn, That's Enough of That, okay, Darko44, Shantae, Nicole, Cray Cray, Andrea Smith, Miss Kiki, T-Goat, what's going on? Renee, Social Glow, Donnybrook Kennels, Somerset, that I already said what's up, Mary Tyler, Reggie, Batshit Crazy, Cat Mom times 3, AJ and her, Ava, Andy Man, Ronnie. All right, let's see who else. Sadie LaFoon, Mommy Karen, and let's get one more. Oops. I saw Chickadee 815. Sleuther Dare, great to see you as well. Now, tonight, like I was saying, we're going to continue a little bit off of last night's stream, okay? We were looking at the 1112 camera. Got to make sure I say enough ones. And specifically around the 144 time frame. I find it very strange that that's when somebody walks underneath the elevated porch at that house and comes up the stairs. It goes blurry. It goes redacted. Clearly, they're trying to do more than just protect somebody's identity. It seems like they're completely swapping out a person, maybe hiding a second person. I have a video clip showing that tonight. But the gentleman that walks up the stairs doesn't go inside right away. He walks to the end of the porch. Right as Eric Gower is pulling in his dark gray Prius, and it seems as if there's some sort of signal where Eric Gower backs up and waits. What's very strange is not only does this dude come from the direction, or what seems to be the direction of 1122, he signals Eric Gower, and it's right at the same time that Kaylee and Maddie are texting him to get a ride home from the Grub truck. I'm going to be going deep on that tonight. I think you guys are really going to enjoy this stream because there's over an hour and a half of dead silence from the time that Dylan Mortensen then texts the Uber driver at 2:10. The Uber driver texts back at 2:13. And then at 2:15, Xana Kernodle's DoorDash order is placed. That's where the hour and a half gap comes in. Oddly enough, it follows the same pattern that it does with texting the Uber driver confirming, and then Xana's DoorDash being placed. At 3:51, Dylan adds a contact. At 3:54, supposedly Xana texts the DoorDash driver, and then at 3:59, the order is delivered. There's a flurry of calls in between that hour and a half, but really all we have to go off of are Bethany and Dylan's version of the events. So hopefully tonight we can provide and try to theorize on some clarity during that time window. Last night really changed my mind on Eric Gower as far as the timing of the signal, the text, the pickup, the drop off. I've always known it's been a little bit suspect, but last night really, really opened my eyes. So we're going to start off with the Discord question of the day, which this comes from Burning Bridges 9. I'm going to go ahead and give the GOAT award right away because I love questions that are so simple. They are so simple and so many people can relate to it. And what Burning Bridges 9 asks is, I'm sitting here wondering how Jack D did not recognize his dog barking hysterically. How did he not know when he lives right next door that was his dog barking, especially at the crazy hour at 4 a.m.? And I think that that's a great point. It's a great point. We can hear the dog barking a lot. Supposedly, Murphy ran outside. Does the dog know to run to Jack D's house? But any dog barking late at night would be loud and it would be distracting, especially if it's as quiet and nothing like this ever happens in Moscow. You'd hear a dog bark a lot. And I can tell the difference in my own dog's bark. Can you guys? I feel like if you don't even have to have raised the dog from a puppy. I think every dog has a distinct bark for the most part, especially if you've had them for a long time. Right? Yeah, Haley said, that's a great point. And formerly known as Beck says, yeah, I'd absolutely recognize my dog barking. I think this is it's a fantastic, simple question that I wanted to point out. And a lot of people are saying, yeah, yep, yes, for sure. They can't redact my beehole. I think it's so funny when people change their usernames to something that has to do with a minor crash out or a major crash out. I'm remembering exactly why you probably switched your username to that. And I was talking about how in Desert Storm, they had drones that could give us clear photos of people in the desert from 30,000 feet. And in 2022, from 30 yards away, they're redacting a golden doodle's butthole. That's where we're at in this case. They're blurring out dogs. So funny, so odd. And it's just right on pace for everything that we've witnessed in this case. So thank you, Burning Bridges 9. Simple and effective question. You'd think that a lot of people would hear the dogs barking and would draw their attention. Last time I'm going to ask Hive, please go ahead, hit that like button. We're at 288. We got almost 900 in here. Let's get up to 900. Let's get 100% likes. That would be phenomenal. Hitting likes free. Subscribing is free. The only thing that will cost a little bit is if you want to use the emojis and get a Hive badge next to your name. So let's get into the theme for this evening's stream, shall we? That rhymed. We're going to start with a ViewSync series of events. I have the across the street footage from the Grub truck synced up with the Grub truck, synced up with 1112. Okay. And then we're going to be going into Mali. But I have not watched these three cameras synced up until today. And it was rather eye-opening. Okay. Especially, and I actually sent Mark B a text. I've been hyping up Mark B and his work with all the cameras. I sent Mark B a text about suspect vehicle 1 because the timing of a car leaving before the girls get into the Prius to leave, the timing from when this car leaves, which looks to be a Ford Fusion, by the way, when they go out of frame to when they get to 1112, that time gap before the girls leave to when the girls get to 1112 is very similar. Okay. So we're going to watch this. I am 90% sure that I have this synced up all right. So hopefully I do. And let me make this full screen and turn these off so we can have a full screen here. Oops. All right, here we go. Oh, I never clicked share this tab. My bad. Here we go. So I'm going to go. The girls are just about, I'll go back a little bit. All right. So the girls are right here. They're about to walk across the street.
Very, very rarely are they not. And then somebody in their group is usually apologizing for them.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, that didn't make up for it, but like.
No, it's amusing though. It's fun to watch other people miserable. Yeah. Have a good night. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome back.
Thanks. I would like the carbonara.
Okay.
But if I have like a free grub tuck on my ask.
Oh, yep. So what you want to do is we'll actually do this. There you go.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
How many more do you need? That's the second one? Awesome.
Don's mom.
Maybe I didn't have a free one.
Right here.
And then what was the mac?
Don't forget to remove the
The
spoon.
The
carbonara.
carbonara mac of the week.
Here, I'll grab it for you.
Excellent. And then click see rewards.
Enjoy.
And it looks like you do not quite have enough points yet.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay.
And then you said
$10 for you.
Perfect.
I do have a big burrito pork here for you.
Cool. Thank you.
Order 78. Thank you very much. Where'd the pen go, guys? Where's my pen? How are you guys doing?
How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Seem to have lost my pen, but that's fine. What can I get for you?
Can I get
Just
the
2 Don
5
Trumps?
cheese mac and cheese, please?
Definitely.
I get
Thank you.
pork tacos.
Oh yeah. How many pork tacos would you like?
Just come with one.
It's one, but they're like 6 to 7 ounce tacos. They're not like small little street tacos. I normally eat 2, 3 is a lot for me.
So one would be fine if I was getting pasta or
Yeah.
mac and cheese too.
Yeah, that's gonna be
I better
almost 2 pounds.
I
of food.
better get two.
Okay, you got it.
I got
2 pork tacos. Done. 1 5 cheese, 1 basil pesto, 2 pork tacos, $24.50 for you.
Thank you.
2 Don Trumps.
It's interesting to see them walk across the street and having this synced up does provide some perspective as to where they come from.
I'm gonna do this. If we decide
Yeah.
to, since we listed.
Oh, people have fallen. People have fallen
That's
over reviews for you.
huge.
Sorry, I'm talking to Twitch stream. Oh, you're so
Thank
good.
you.
Absolutely. Thank you. How are you doing?
Pretty good about yourself.
I'm doing extremely well. What sounds good?
Can I get a big burrito?
Yeah. For the big burrito, would you like pork or chicken? Chicken. Got it. And then you said a Mountain Dew?
Yes, please.
Excellent. Big burrito chicken and a Mountain Dew. We're going to do $11. Here's Mountain Dew and order 80. Thank you very much.
Hello.
Hello.
I need 2 chicken burritos with extra slaw.
2 chicken burritos.
So see all these guys leaving up here? Watch the white car. And the reason why I wanted to show this is this white car, I'm pretty sure this is a Ford Fusion, which is the same type of car that the undercover plainclothes police officers are that are by the Banfield. This one's got tinted windows. And when you watch it come in here, again, I got these as close to being synced as I can. But this is what I sent to Mark B. And he's like, wow, that's a great eye. I don't think he had looked at that yet, potentially being suspect vehicle 1, that they label it suspect vehicle 1. They try to say it's Koberger, but watch the time frame from when this car pulls out and goes out of frame. Then you see Gower pull up. Remember, that sketchy guy just gave the signal. Gower then goes, and he's on his way to pick them up. These guys leave. They pull in about 2 minutes, I think 2 minutes right before the girls get there. that car, when it's in 1112, it never shows up on the 1330 camera in the Linda Lane car park. It never goes. So it either parks next to Queen Road or it parks by King Road by their house. And you can't really tell with the reflections of their taillights in the windows of the Shark Tank house across the street. And then, so I'll let you guys see this first, and then I'll explain some more.
$19 for you.
I know I have a $6 waiting for me. It would like to use it.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
So,
Let's see rewards.
there we
Oh,
go.
fuck, I just hit your jacket. Sorry, man.
Yeah,
$13. Hell yeah.
worth it.
Oh, always. Order 81.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You see it. Anon getting to his truck.
Extra slot? Is that a charge? No, it's not a charge. It's just a modifier. Hello.
They have Apple Pay.
That's
You
when
guys
I
have
go.
Apple Pay, right?
Of course we do.
Of course you have Apple Pay. Yes. Hi, camera. Okay.
Chicken taco. You got it.
I'll do the 5 cheese mac and cheese. Please.
Okay.
No, please. No, I'm getting yours no matter what. Like, please, he's waiting. We'll do 2 5 cheese mac and cheese.
Like, I'm adding 2 or you're making it, it's now 2.
Oh,
Sorry.
2.
You're adding 2. Excellent. Gotcha. Okay. Anything else?
Reed, come on, you're the last one. Okay.
You got it. So I have a chicken taco and 3 5 cheese mac and cheeses.
Oh my God. Hive, I never thought I would see the day. Jeff, we've come a long way in our relationship, buddy. We absolutely have. That's hilarious. Thank you for everybody gifting the memberships. And it's only right Jeff gets one. We do have he does have his own emoji.
Okay. $27.75.
Hey.
All right, so look at that car right there.
How many apples?
That is the same type of car as the undercover cop car or the plainclothes police officers by the body cam. Looks like a Ford Taurus or Ford Fusion. Ford Fusion, sorry.
In the Mac of the week? 0, TJ.
All of them.
0.
Don't let them lie to you.
Okay, so it's at
Order 82. Thank you.
so it's 9:47 on this clock.
We already got it by cheese mac and cheese.
Wait, you got one?
Yeah, come on.
Oh my. Can I get a magnifier? You got it, man. One magnifier, $9 for you.
Perfect, thank you.
Absolutely.
Yes, it's going.
Top.
Of course. Awesome. Dessert burrito port's ready.
Order 83.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and then it's all on you. I was letting go.
It's gonna match up. This is crazy. It takes about the exact same time, about 4 minutes or however
Time to
long.
start
warm,
the
Joe?
old car. It's been a while since this engine started. Let's see if it starts. V V V V V V V V V V V V V. V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V. V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V. Oh great, the battery
My
is
first time
dead.
was when I went to
Well,
the grocery
better luck
store
next
to buy
time.
donuts.
For what?
First time I used,
So
NFC.
weird.
I don't have an Apple device, so it wasn't having to pay. I was desperate
All right, so here comes Gower.
for donuts. Yes.
Gower got there now. It's about a 4.5 minute drive.
Phone NFC pay. I guess unless you count the tap.
Here comes a truck. I was wondering if that was a non, but it
Never
looks like
used
an
my
older
phone.
truck.
So at like a store.
Oh, really?
Always had my cards.
Okay. It's because you're too prepared, Derek.
It's because I try not to forget my wallet. It's a good reason.
That's
Not
smart,
to
Derek.
forget
It's
your
probably
wallet.
good to not lose your wallet. Guys, fuck yeah, great ticket times. Honestly, like Luke, Tebow, really solid. Love it.
Okay, so this is
Figure out how
probably
close
when
are we
back
to
in.
you sitting down on Friday night.
they're texting saying
I
that they're
mean,
at ticket
That was a
75 and they're
solid
78.
rush. It's a good thing that it ended, but this is Friday and Saturday in a row. They got you down round 1, so I'm liking it. Liking it a lot, guys.
Guess who's gonna fucking need extra slot a second? This bad boy.
Tebow's thinking to himself, if I start slowing down on Meg, maybe I'll get to sit down. He's going to try to sabotage me.
I actually was wondering if I was going too slow and you were going to switch it back, and I was really scared of that. That's what I was scared of. Nope.
Yes, let that fear.
You guys know, like, the highest ticket time I saw was 13 minutes, which is, I'm very satisfied. You guys have worked on the truck, and Derek and I have been the ones on Grill and Mac, and we've had longer ticket times than that. Like, you're doing well.
Really? Pork. I got news for you.
Hell yeah. All right, what did I miss? Reduce, reuse, malls? Yeah. Fuck yeah, dude.
That gets on my nerves. And then, like, they want their numbers to be called.
Are you knowing that movie that's super popular? No. Tomahawks, what's the side for? Hello.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing extremely well. What sounds good?
Get the death by garlic and add chicken to it.
Yeah, definitely. Death by garlic. We'll add chicken to it. Anything else for you?
And then can I do the 5 cheese?
And 5 cheese?
Yes. And can I add chicken to that?
Of course. We're doing death by garlic with chicken, 5 cheese with chicken. Anything else?
That should be it.
Love it. $23.
Start keeping an eye on the upper right.
Do you guys have any NFC go Ben? Any whatever sort of payment you have on your phone, we can take. Order 84. Thank you. We do not have the scan one though. So like if you're trying to pay with Cash App, you have to like scan a thing. We don't have any sort of QR crap. How are you doing?
Sorry, good.
Oh, no. Good. Excellent. Sorry. What can I get you?
Can I get 2 chicken tacos?
2 chicken tacos. You got it.
What big burrito chicken?
$7.50 if that's everything for you.
Slide.
Yeah, slide, tap, insert.
All right, the girls are about to leave. Lower left. And you'll see them walk towards Eric Gower right now.
Order 85. Thank you.
Can I do the
That truck is backing out.
cheese sauce? Can I get it with that? That's Chipotle slaw.
Yes. Yes, you have.
Okay, so just to bring everybody up to speed, the girls they just left the Grub truck. They get into Eric Gower's Prius. Don't forget about the white Ford Fusion that pulled out with the guy in the Drew Brees jersey and the dude in the black tank top. Okay. This is the truck that pulled in. It's an older truck. It backed out and now it's going to leave. When he leaves, notice what car comes pulling in. Now, I believe, didn't somebody say that the dude in the number 9 jersey lives nearby? And you'll see in the reflections on the Shark Tank house that car. And if I was to pull up 1330, the car park on Linda Lane, when the vehicle comes in, it doesn't go towards the car park at all. It doesn't turn up. There's no flash that you would see on the house if they would have gone into that back area behind King Road where they said Molly parked. So it leaves you to the conclusion they either parked right on the side of the Queen Road apartments or they parked a little bit past King Road's driveway.
Really
And then without the onion salsa.
No salsa.
And do you guys have sour cream or no?
We do not.
Okay, that's okay.
Okay.
And that's everything.
Would you like chicken or pork to be the meat?
Chicken.
Got it. So we're doing a chicken burrito, no slaw, and then no white salsa.
All right, now
We do
here it
have a red
comes.
salsa. Would you rather have that? Okay, excellent. There we go. $9.50 for you.
Okay.
You just called your like our new box stores open.
I don't
So
know.
now watch the upper right.
Oh, it just didn't read it. Do you mind if I?
No, go for it. Oh.
Just so everybody knows, again, this video's over. Now the girls left. This is the car that I believe all those kids got in. Okay. And they took a little bit longer route, but I believe that this is what they're trying to tell us is suspect vehicle 1 being, Brian Koberger. But to me, it looks like this, and you'll see what I mean in a second.
I don't dare say thank you though.
Okay. Oh, one sec. Sorry. I do have to. I just give your ticket for your order. There you go.
And actually, what I can do now that that's no, I'll leave it on ViewSync.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So this is the car that I believe is the white car.
Get 2 chicken burritos.
Comes flying in there.
Barbecue chicken mac and cheese.
And it doesn't go up towards
barbecue mac. Anything else?
the car park camera.
1 Chipotle mac and cheese.
Girls are going to be arriving shortly after.
Now we got the extra taco show. Sure, I got that. What do you want? 2 barbecue chicken.
You got it.
I think that should do it.
Okay. 2 chicken burritos, 2 barbecue chickens, 1 Chipotle. $48.50 for you. Oh yeah, man. Chat, I want for all of you to leave just knowing how incredibly satisfied and pleased Joe is with everyone's performance tonight. 87. Thank you. Because that's what I'm thinking. I'm just thinking, I am so pleased right now. Guys, you see how many people we had? You see how short that ticket time is? It makes me happy. What are we looking at? For Walmart, no can't use Apple Pay here. Google website is a great place to see how they sound. I have no idea what we're talking about, guys. How are you doing?
Good.
I'm doing pretty good.
That's awesome. Can I get 2 big burritos? Chipotle mac and cheese. Extra
slaw.
You got it. Chipotle, 1 dessert burrito.
1 dessert burrito.
And then here come the girls.
3 noodle chivo.
I'm very pleased.
In the Prius.
Oh, order 88. Thank you.
Okay, so now I wanted to show those all at the same time because what I'm going to do next is I'm going to show you just the oh shoot. Why is it doing that? All right. Sorry about that. There was a little bit of a glitch. Now I'm going to show you just the 1112 King Road. Okay. So we're going to go to 154 now, right when that car pulls in, which I believe is the car from the Grub truck with all those dudes in it. And when you slow it down, it certainly looks like a Ford Fusion. Okay, so it'll be arriving any second now. And that car is coming in pretty quick, and it doesn't seem... I think the windows look tinted. And I'm going to slow it down. The windows look tinted. And a lot of people thought that was the green car. But I believe that it's actually that white car. So here it is, frame by frame. I believe that that is the white Ford Fusion with tinted windows that we saw leave the Grub truck right before the girls. Dark windows. I mean, those things are tinted black for sure. Okay. And then the girls arrive, 2 minutes later. So I'll go 2x speed. Actually, I'll go 3x. All right. Whoops, that's taking too long. 1 second. Now the girls are about to show up right here. You can clearly see that it's a Prius. The dark gray car right there. All right. So let me just break down. I was taking handwritten notes earlier today. Let me just read these, okay? So at 1:44 a.m., the dude on the 1112 porch, so the porch that you see on your screen, he signals Gower to stop. Kaylee and Maddie, and Gower backs up. Kaylee and Maddie are at the food truck and are texting Gower within 30 seconds of this happening to come pick them up. The Jersey dudes and the tank top dudes leave right before the girls leave and then pull in approximately 2 minutes before the girls do. Kaylee and Maddie get home at 1:56 a.m. So that's where we're at now. Okay? Just so everybody's on the same page. Now, what I did here is I wanted to remind everybody about the signal that Eric Gower got. So I made this video today, and I'm going to show you all it. I think that it's rather telling, and I'm going to put it full screen. It's about a minute or 2 minutes, and there's captions in it. There's no sound. I'm going to make it full screen. So if I have to talk, you guys will be able to hear me, but check this out. This is interesting. Okay, so this is at 1:43. Here comes the dude. Now, watch this shit. This is crazy. So I slow it down. Well, I let it play through once. Here comes Eric Gower. The dude sees Gower, goes over there, absolutely raises his hand or does something. Eric Gower sees him, backs up immediately. Okay. And now I thought to myself, they got to be texting or calling each other because he sits there for a while. And what do you know? You could see a little phone light pop on. So he's absolutely texting somebody. I don't think it's a coincidence. People are going to say, oh, that he's texting Kaylee. Yeah, right as that guy is on the patio and he sees him and stops and backs up. No, there is no way that that's a coincidence in timing. All three of those things occurring are very odd. Okay. And this video, you guys, I have like 3 bombshells in this video. Okay. People have wondered if it's scrubbed. Oh, did I not upload the full one? Oh, no. Okay. Check this out. Why is that doing that? So, all right, let me skip ahead. I'll do this full screen. Okay. Check this out. You see the phone light pop on there. Boom. Right after he backs up, you see his phone light. He sits there for a little bit. Okay. You could see his phone light still. Now watch. You'll see the phone light go away. Right here. Boom. Puts it down. Drives off. Now, this is where it gets crazy. You can see the shadow of the door opening while the guy's over there. So somebody actually steps out and sees what he's doing. Eric Gower drives away. Now you'll watch him walk in. You can see his body in the shadow and close the door. Right as Gower happens to walk away. Now, this is for sure them scrubbing somebody out from behind. There's a phone in somebody's hand right behind him that you see. Somebody's holding that phone, and you can see the bottom of their legs. That is absolutely a phone light behind them that they have scrubbed out. Right there. Looks back, probably says something to him. Okay. That's when Gower pulls in. So I want you guys to watch. We'll watch this one more time. We'll watch it all the way through. I won't stop it. Hopefully, I can put this full screen now and it won't reset. But I believe that this is a pretty big bombshell. All of it. This guy walks in. He comes from the direction of 1122. Might be a little bit drunk or whatnot, but he seems to sober up. Or they completely just manipulated who it was, but he sees Eric Gower. It's almost like he was expecting it. He goes to that side, which is going to be right by the wall, puts his hand up or does something to get his attention. Gower backs up. At this point, I think that the guy that just got onto the patio is now texting Eric Gower, or Eric Gower's answering on speakerphone. You see a little phone light pop up right there. And he proceeds to tell him something. But I do not believe that just by chance that guy walks over there right as Kaylee happens to be texting him for a ride home. I don't think so at all. Now you'll see somebody open the door. If you look on the ground right here, you can see somebody, you can see the light from inside. Somebody comes and steps out, probably looks around the corner. Gower leaves, and that guy walks in. Now watch this phone light turn on. Boom, right here. Phone, seconds after he parks. Okay, now he's sitting there. Phone light goes away, and he drives off. This, to me, is crazy. I'm sorry, not this part, but this is still weird. So clearly somebody knew that this guy was coming over because they step out, they look to see what he's doing. Okay. But this right here, this is absolutely somebody walking behind this dude. You can see the phone clear as day, and the third person's legs come out from under. It's so obvious. There's a shoe in the middle of it. Right there, that is a phone absolutely behind them. There's no need to do that. You can see the shadow of the second person coming up the stairs too. So obviously. So obviously, in my opinion. So I wanted to show everybody that. Now, let's get a little bit nuts, all right? Let's get a little bit nuts. Let's see you know what? In honor of Jeff becoming a member, I know we already did this, but let's throw some GD Jeff emojis into the chat. Let's flood it with that because we're gonna think critically about this, okay? We're gonna do our best to think critically. We're gonna think outside of the story we've been told about the evidence, and we're gonna still look at the evidence, but try to come up with something that makes a little bit more logical sense. Okay. So let me take a sip of water quick. All righty. So, 1 second. Everybody, please go ahead, hit that like button as well if you could. The chat on my side is frozen. So let me just get that working quick. There we go. All right, I got it back. So, all right, now this is where I said, let's stretch our critical thinking muscles here, okay? So we have at 2:10, okay, so the girls get home. Dylan is telling us that they went up to Kaylee's room. They're trying to figure out if somebody or if they want to go eat. Now, I find it odd that in addition to that dude walking and seeming to probably signal Gower goes and picks them up. Gower goes and drops them off. Here's what's interesting. At 1:56, we hear all those noises that a lot of people have suspected the girls were attacked, being Kaylee and Maddie, right when they got out of Eric Gower's car. Now, if my hypothesis is correct that suspect vehicle 1, or what they label it, is really the dude in the Drew Brees jersey and the guy in the black tank top and the couple other people in that white Ford Fusion with tinted windows, as I showed you. So they get there about 2 minutes earlier. I'm not necessarily saying that they attacked them, okay? This is just me thinking out loud. But I do find it weird that we hear all those noises, and 10 minutes later, Dylan texts the same dude that drops those girls off if he's still driving. Less than 3 minutes later, Eric Gower does confirm that he is driving. And 2 minutes later, Xana places a DoorDash. Okay? So Xana places the DoorDash allegedly. At 3:51, Dylan adds a contact. Now, look, before everybody in the chat says, we know what the contact's name is, and there's a connection. I promise you that I have looked every which way to Sunday. That contact makes 0 sense. The name is spelled wrong. There's some sort of connection with somebody's sister and all this stuff, okay? I'm going to go in a different direction tonight. So hear me now when I say, hear ye, okay? I'm aware of what they said the contact was. I don't think that it makes any sense, so I'm going to go in a different direction. I'm just going to hypothesize, okay? One's in the chat. Does everybody understand what I'm saying by that? Because I know there's going to be people that are like, no, they said it was this person. Okay, I'm acknowledging it now. Okay, moving on. So at 3:51, Dylan creates a new contact in her phone, and then 3 minutes later, the customer texts the DoorDash driver, are you having trouble finding it? And the order gets delivered at 3:59. So it kind of follows that same pattern of Dylan texting the Uber driver texting back, but then it's a DoorDash that gets ordered. Dylan then makes a contact. The customer texts the dasher, and then the order gets delivered. Okay, so I have the timeline on the right here. If you guys want to see that full screen. Okay. So now, here's where we have a huge time gap or an opportunity for a lot of people if they wanted to commit this. The only thing that happens in between 2:15 and 3:51, okay, we have Kaylee calling Jack 6 times between 2:26 and 2:44, and we have Maddie calling Jack 3 times from 2:44 to 2:52. Jack doesn't answer. Other than those calls, okay, and they never talked, the only people that have a story are Dylan and Bethany. Okay? That is a huge time gap. Okay? Yes, and we have the 17-minute call that Jack thinks that he might have switched it off like an alarm. After that time gap, from 3:51 all the way to 423, there's not another big gap. That's the only bigger gap than 215 to 351 is before the 911 call. Okay, so if we're looking at the timeline and the timeline alone, in my opinion, this seems to be a window of opportunity. Other than that, I feel like there's too much activity going on with a DoorDash driver arriving. And you could say, well, Xana picked up the DoorDash. I'm going to, like I said, drop one of my own theories tonight for the first time in a while. And I'm curious to get your thoughts on it. And I'm going to have Jeffrey try to back it up on Thursday. So don't miss Thursday night. Jeffrey Gentry's the crime scene death investigator, over 4,000 deaths investigated. So I was texting him about this earlier. So after 359, there's like a 20-minute gap only. And that's after the order is delivered. But remember, this is when Xana is apparently on TikTok, right? Then Bethany calls DM, and you guys see all the messages there that we've gone through a bunch of times. Okay, so people will say, yep, so that's another thing. Banfield boys were stopped at around 3. Right, but I'm saying as far as 1122 and the people inside of that house, or what we've told the people inside of that house are doing. So now I want to watch the DoorDash driver segment. Okay, so we're going to watch this. We're going to just watch the DoorDash driver, being Molly, drop this off. And I'm going to try to put this I'll put this at 1080p. Premium HD enhanced bitrate. Hopefully this loads quick enough while I'm streaming. And it'd be awesome if this is a little bit clearer. Okay. Okay, so I wanted to show that first part. I want you guys to see where I'm going with this theory. She pulls in at 346.24. Dylan creates a contact at 351. And there's a text shortly after that. Are you having trouble finding it? Has anybody ever ordered DoorDash and you know that it's close, but they're either walking circles around or they're not figuring out where they're supposed to leave it? My hypothesis is that the reason why Dylan is adding a new contact, well, I'll get there, but I think that it's not a coincidence that less than 10 minutes later, after she pulls in and Dylan adds a new contact, there's a text that comes that says, are you having trouble finding it? Okay, so people will say the Dasher will call or text. I've ordered DoorDash. Very rarely have I had that happen. Usually I'll ask them the same thing. But also, is Molly going to do that? I don't know. Right? Nonetheless, just hear me out. Like I said, you can't think best practice in this case, okay? You have to remember there's a murder happening and there's sus people all over the place. Can't just think true, honest DoorDash people, okay? So you can't just think, well, they would call. I know. Yes, best practice says they would call, but I don't think anything was done with best practice. Okay, so she just pulls in. So did you guys hear that click right there? That click sounds exactly like when Senor Wazowski would activate the two-way intercom. It always seems to click on. Like if you have a Ring camera, you hear the click. That sounded like what the click is. There was a cut. We know that these clips, I believe these were all given to Jules in segments. I believe, don't quote me on that. But even if they weren't given to Jules that way, we know that Detective Mowry said they were all in small clips. But it does sound like the click when the two-way intercom turns on. Right there. And then there's a pause in the rest of the sound. See, in my opinion, those noises, those are cars passing on Linda Lane. And I think that's why I'm saying I feel like the two-way intercom is playing the Linda Lane audio through it. And it sounds really harsh and high-pitched because, again, of the examples that I've shown throughout the week. That's just my opinion. You don't have to believe that. But it's like, where were any of those cars that were just passing that you hear the whooshing for? You don't. But you hear them at the far end of the Linda Lane dumpster cam a lot. There's one. Now, the other question too is, you'd think you'd hear a door open and then shut if Xana came and grabbed the food. Who knows if Molly placed it and just took the picture of it, right? But let's listen for that. Okay, this part still makes no sense to me here. Right now, the text gets sent. So think about this. That whole time that Molly pulls in, she has still not dropped this order off. Okay? She has not dropped this order off. She's walking to the end of the street. Is she looking for somebody? Is she looking for something? How is it that she's walking everywhere around the house? Okay? You could say if she's high or if she's been drinking or what, but still, I mean, guys, she parks right behind it. I mean, it's the only house on the corner. Literally, it's the only house on the corner. So she's still not there, guys. She's still not there. The other question that I have is, at what point would Xana get up and walk outside? It's already been since 2:15 in the morning, everybody. The DoorDash is over an hour and a half late. At that point, when it's close, if that's me, I mean, I might even be asleep at that point, and the DoorDash is sitting on the porch all night. But I'm going to be outside like, hey, are you looking for 1122? I don't think that that's unreasonable. Or would she send Ethan out there? Like, babe, can you go see if you could find the DoorDash driver out there? They're walking all over the place. Food is still not there, guys. This is unbelievable. So, in my opinion, too, what I believe that we're hearing, I've thought about this a lot. You can kind of hear the rhythm and the bass. What I believe that is I believe that whoever pulled up in that car is playing their music. And I think that either a window's down or maybe a door's open, something. But I do believe that that is music coming from a car that we're hearing, not a house. I think that's coming from a car. And Molly is still not there, everybody. She's still not there. If that's not the biggest load of shit you've ever seen, too, from an editing standpoint, it's the same blinkers, just sped up and slowed down. It's so damn obvious. I'm surprised Molly found her car that quick. At that point, you got to be shocked that she didn't lose where she parked. She's been wandering around for 16 minutes. She can't find the only house on the corner. Luckily, she efficiently just happened to make it back to her car in time when the house was literally, she could have fallen forward and hit the house. She could have taken 2 steps, tripped on a rock, and tumbled into King Road house. But instead, she walks around for 15 or 16 minutes, yet knows exactly where her car is. It gets back in plenty of time, very quickly. Okay. So that's just a load of horse shit. Sorry for the language. I really think it is. It's just, it doesn't make any sense. It seems like, it just seems a very simple minded narrative that a lot of normies would just believe, well, she's lost. She can't find it. I don't buy that for a second. I saw UFO Dog made a good point that was saying it's almost like she arrived too early. Did she arrive too early? Or what's going on? Okay. My thing is this. what was going on inside that house. Okay. That order doesn't technically say that it's delivered, and Molly's out of camera for a long time. We don't see her go back by the car park, nothing. That order will not say completed or delivered until Molly marks it and Molly takes a picture. She could have taken that picture. Molly could have taken that photo, and it could have sat on her phone, and she could have walked around, and until Molly presses submit, that will not say the order is completed. When she presses submit on that app is when the 3:59 time would have gone. Okay, because you have to take a photo. It's got to tell you if it's not blurry enough or if it's clear enough and all that. Then she's got to hit submit. It's got to look at it, register it, and then it tells you the time it was completed. Okay. So now, going back to this, here's what I want to talk about. And this is what I'm asking Jeffrey. Guys, look, this is my opinion. This whole DoorDash thing, it doesn't make any sense, and we can see it in the crime scene photos. Okay? You guys tell me, how is it possible that I understand it's a plastic plate, but nothing fell off the plate, everybody? Nothing bounced. It didn't tip over. Everything is perfectly on the plate. If Xana opened the door and was attacked and that was in her hand, there's no way that a napkin, there's no way that sauce or the fries, there's no way that it lands perfectly like that. That looks like, in my opinion, that before blood was on that napkin, that's how it looked sitting somewhere else. That plate is finished being eaten at this point. And I don't believe that Xana would have just set it on the floor like that. Drunk or not, I don't think so. Nothing bounced off the plate. It's all perfectly there. Okay, it's all perfectly there. Then you look at this. Okay, was the food microwaved after a long delivery wait time? If you've ever microwaved sauce or cheese, in my opinion, this is how it's going to look. One's in the chat if you agree. If you ever had ranch on a plate, or if you've ever had cheese on a plate, this is how it looks when you microwave it. Okay. Was that because it's ice cold because it took an hour and a half for it to get there? Or my question is this: was the plate brought back in from the kitchen by the perp? Now, hear me out. This is what I'm going to ask Jeffrey. See that blood droplet right there? That blood droplet, there's nothing that bounces out, which that blood looks like it was running off of somebody's hand as it set this plate down, because there's not a bunch of spatter off of it. Okay. If you had a bloody nose and you dropped and that droplet of blood hit the ground, it would have little splatter all around it. My other thought is that this looks as if this almost looks like a palm print. Okay. Almost like this, Hive. Was somebody carrying the plate like this? And did they go and did they set it onto the ground with a bloody hand? Okay. It looks like this part of your hand is grabbing the plate where that napkin was at, in my opinion. And it just looks like somebody's dripping blood onto this napkin. That blood doesn't look like it was necessarily used to, looks like somebody's hand grabbed it and it might have been running off, their forearm or something onto here. But I believe that this was not freshly eaten. I think that this was out in the kitchen, okay, or something. Now, that's where I was just going to say, was the plate set down or staged? Nothing falls off. How does this container drop from, if you're getting attacked with a knife through your door, how does that happen? Like I said, this looks like somebody had been finished eating. They had just scooped the last bit of the sauce out of that. They turned it on its side, scooped it, got the last fry, they set it down, and maybe they walked it out to the kitchen. Okay. Now, this is what's nuts. Okay. So stick with me here. And this is going to be the part of my theory that I think is going to hopefully click with some people. Again, this is just a hypothesis. But here's where it gets wild. Okay. So the DoorDash records for Xana and Ethan, okay, as we know, it contains Ethan Chapin's DoorDash records, but it does not contain records for Xana. The DoorDash was made by Xana. In the April 5th of 23 disclosure, the DoorDash search warrants, the warrant returns contains photographs, a list of deliveries to 1122 King Road, and span as far back as 2019, and a spreadsheet of communication between the person ordering the food and the DoorDash driver. The state has not specified which of these records it intends to use at trial, how they were made and kept in the course of a regularly conducted business activity, and if it was the regular practice of that business to make the report or record. So the second part of that, I read it as they pulled all DoorDash orders from 1122, no matter who ordered it or what. Okay, because it's going back as far as 2019. So any DoorDash order that was delivered there, they were looking for something. But what I want to really point out is this does not contain anything for Xana. Okay. Now I'm going to play this video because people have been wondering how hard would it be to change your name and to change your number. Check this out.
We're going to start opening up your DoorDash app. As open up your DoorDash, you're going to arrive on this main screen right here. Look in the upper left-hand corner, we're going to see profile. So make sure to tap on profile. Then you're going to arrive on this main screen right here. As you arrive here, look where it says account. Then within account, you're going to see like your name there. So make sure to tap on your name. That's going to be the first thing that you're going to see. As they say, like change your account information. So make sure to tap on there. Then you're going to arrive on this main screen right here. So as I arrive here, you see like where it says first name and last name. So make sure you put like your desired name that you want to put. As for mine, I'm going to just switch it.
This is all that you have to do.
Bob John. Then once you switch that, look on the upper right-hand corner where it says save. So make sure to tap on save. If you don't do that, it won't save. So make sure to tap on save right there. And it's loading. And it says 6X. Look on where it says phone number right there. So make sure to tap on phone number right there.
This is all you got to do.
Then you can install your new number.
It's all you got to do.
So once you install your new number, look on the upper right-hand corner where it says save. So make sure to tap on save right there. Otherwise, it won't work. Then they're going to ask to verify. So make sure you verify with your email or it won't work. So once you verify with your code, make sure you tap on where it says verify right there. As you guys can see. So just tap there.
And now it's changed.
And that's how you change your number on DoorDash app.
Okay. So I bring that up because there's an entire Reddit thread too about funny text messages, not in the app, text messages. And it's between people and DoorDash drivers, and it's hilarious text. You can go look them up. There's also some wild ones. Okay. You can have a full-on conversation, and then that number will go away eventually. It's a temporary number. If, and this is a big if, okay? If Dylan had DoorDash on her phone, okay? This is where they're speculating. If Dylan had the DoorDash app on her phone, she could hypothetically go into her app, change the name to Xander Kernodle, put Xana's phone number. Because it's Dylan's app, when she goes to verify it, that verification code will go to Dylan's email. Okay, so if they don't have Xana's records, that's all that it would take. Now, if Dylan gets a text and maybe Molly's needed for something, who knows what the connection is? Dylan, for all we know, could have just saved the contact as DoorDash driver. If it's not what that one Fernanda chick is, or Fernanda, whatever it is. It doesn't make any sense. It's all whatever. But Dylan, that's just about enough time for Dylan to create that in her phone. Are you having trouble finding it? Then it's delivered. I go back to this. This DoorDash, in my opinion, was done being ate. I don't know what it is. I don't know how this got there, why it's bloody. But to me, that, I'm shocked that that whatever's microwaved here, okay, so that means that Xana would have had to go in. If it was cold, she microwaved her food, set it all up, right? Went back in, gets attacked through the door, but it's perfectly set on the ground. And everybody's ignoring this giant gap when the DoorDash is placed. Kaylee and Maddie are calling Jack, allegedly. Nobody talks to him. There's a 17-minute phone call. He doesn't remember. And it gets so strange so quick. Okay, but I really wanted to point out that food on the plate. If you open the door and you're getting stabbed, I don't find the chances of that happening at all. And then the little blood drop that doesn't have a bunch of splatter around it, to me, that looks like it was set. Now, I'm working on this theory, but I'll just lay it out there. Again, this is all alleged. Let's say that this attack did happen earlier. Okay. What I find very, very strange is the gap in the DoorDash and the food on the ground looking like that. That's what I have to piece together. If this happened earlier and the DoorDash was used as a cover, that is the only thing that I can think of, is that the DoorDash was used as a cover. Either there was old Jack in the Box at the house, or they went and they used the DoorDash as a cover and put the plate of Jack in the Box there. I don't know. But to me, that seems so strategically placed to sell the DoorDash narrative that already makes no sense. One's in the chat if you're following me, and again, I'm working through the theory, but if you're at least picking up what I'm putting down a little bit, the way that it's placed in that room and on the ground and the blood around it and the napkin, I don't get it. There's something with the cover to solidify the narrative of the DoorDash for the timeline. Okay. So, guys, again, please do not miss Thursday night stream. If you want to be able to use the emojis in the chat, tap join on my profile. You'll get access to the goddammit Jeff emojis. It's only $4.99. If you see $6.99, that's an Apple service fee. It's out of my control. But thank you to everybody that did sign up, and I appreciate that. Please hit subscribe. Please hit like. The Hive is on an absolute roll, and I do not plan on slowing down. I have one super chat to go through real quick, too. So, Ashley, 1984-24 said, just playing devil's advocates, I don't see a shadow on the house next door or behind the guy when he walks in front of the parked car. No blurs either. And I'm assuming you're referring to the 1112 guy, correct, Ashley? You don't see shadows on the house. I mean, if that's the guy that you're talking about, I don't know why. I mean, it seems like all that footage is completely manipulated. And if you're still in here, Ashley, and you can clarify, that would be wonderful. But thank you so much for the super chat. And Truth Seeker So Awake said, just an observation, but notice the house at the bottom of the curtains keep moving. Yeah, I've noticed that a lot. I think a lot of people have. It seems like somebody might be peeking out. I'm not sure if there's a flashing light that makes it look like it's moving, but at one point there definitely is somebody looking out. I do not disagree with you at all. I totally agree with that. And thank you, Jesse Ray, so much for the super sticker. Shout out to all the new people joining Hive Plus. As a reminder, those streams stay free. Look at this. This is great. The chat's going to be full of those Jeff emojis. And wow, Somerset said ISK 3000. I don't even know what that converts to, but that's awesome. Thank you so much. Simply said, because I can. Cheers to all. Well, cheers to you, Somerset. Thank you so much. Same thing with you, Griffin Girl, 49.89. Thank you for the super sticker. And everybody that's been gifting these memberships, you guys rock. This is awesome. And Jackie said, hit that thumbs up. Thankful for Birdie and all in the chat. Y'all make me feel less crazy because of this case. Well, we still might be crazy, but it is nice to feel less crazy when you're talking about things that seem so obviously manipulated, and it's surrounded by people who are NPCs that are making up this narrative. So, Hive, I hope you all enjoyed this stream. I certainly did. I am looking forward to tomorrow night already at 7 p.m. Central. And again, Thursday, do not miss it. Jeffrey Gentry, 22-year crime scene death investigator, over 4,000 deaths investigated. He will be back on the stream for part 2, talking about the crime scene photos. With that, Hive, enjoy your evening, sleep good, and I'll see you tomorrow. Cheers.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life.